I'm Rhonda Pick, Managing Editor of Poultry Health Today. With me is Dr. Suzanne Dougherty. She's Poultry Veterinarian at Pilgrims. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for inviting me to be here.
We're going to talk a little bit about coccidiosis, which is always a top of mind challenge in the poultry industry.
Absolutely. Yes.
Can you share a little bit about some of the experiences you've had within Pilgrims in 2019, specifically with the coccidiosis challenge?
Sure. I mean, I think every year we get more and more challenged with coccidia. I think it presents itself differently. Different drugs are coming in and out. So we have definitely, at least within my complexes, seen more issues this year than I have seen probably my whole time in production. It is definitely not specific to NAE, nor a conventional, nor a no human antibiotic complex. Uniquely enough, some of my worst complexes are not my NAE complexes with coccidia. So coccidia, both in broilers and in pullets, has definitely been a challenge this year.
How big of an issue is it within your, from a disease challenge standpoint within Pilgrims? Pretty high on the list?
I would say definitely it's pretty high on the list. We have really tried to do a bunch of different type of rotation programs to try to make vaccines work in a bioshuttle. We'll either do it with NAE or the conventional or the NHA. We do different things. We really like to try to keep vaccine in big birds. In the larger birds, so a 6.5 pounder or heavier is really the goal. There's definitely been some shifts in things. We're going to try some different things that we wouldn't normally try in a conventional complex. Maybe treat them more like an NAE for a cycle or two.
Shake things up
and see how that works. But it's definitely been a challenge as far as Maxima and Tenella have both been a challenge for sure.
And is there obviously some seasonality to it as well?
Interestingly enough, no.
Okay.
We really started seeing issues in the spring, and it just has been continuous, regardless of the programs we shift to. It's been ongoing. It's. I will say some programs have reduced the severity, but we're definitely still seeing that Tenella break around the 16, 17 day time period, 15, 16, 17, and then the Maxima around 17, 18. So we've had to do a lot of finagling with how much starter feed we feed, grower feed, different, as I mentioned, vaccines, coccidial vaccines, as well as different ionophores, and also some of the synthetic coccidiostats as well.
So you are changing a few things up with your rotation process too?
We sure are, yes. We're trying some different things. And the interesting thing is I thought my, NAE complexes were going to be my challenge. And honestly, it's been the exact opposite. So it's been more the complexes that I have a little more flexibility in. So
traditionally, when you talk about coccidiosis, it does a lot of times open the door for necrotic enteritis too. Have you seen that within your
I have one
operation?
operation that definitely necrotic is playing a role. Which came first? Probably the cocci, and then the necrotic came in. We can't say that for sure, but we think we may still have a higher necrotic challenge or clostridial challenge there than we used to. That's a conventional complex, so I'm not sure if the microbiology has been shifting, and some of the medications that used to work are no longer working. But I have another complex. The other complex that has had Maxima and Tenella, we do not have necrotic issue there. It's a non-issue. So as I said, it presents differently in different ways, and these complexes are an hour apart. So that it's not really a regional effect. We always say what works in one complex doesn't necessarily work in another complex, and that is very true.
So what advice would you have for other producers that are also on the front lines battling cocci and necrotic enteritis?
I think you need to try different things and see what works. Just because it's always worked there for years, or that rotation has always worked, things change. The bugs are smarter than we are sometimes. So things are going to adjust and shift, and be willing to do some things that you would not normally do within that facility.
Well, we appreciate you sharing your advice, insights. This is always an important topic. So
absolutely. Thank you.
We've been talking with Dr. Suzanne Dougherty. She's Poultry Veterinarian with Pilgrims. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.